telling them that he was going to have a job. What? Don't fiddle with your ears when I'm talking. People can't hear me.
Mr. Prime Minister, come for dinner. Knock at the door. Yes, can I come in? I say, no, fuck off, you politician bastard. Shut the door in the face.
Thank you for listening to Talking to Our Souls, or to put it another way, to Talking Our Souls. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and may deal with adult topics and adult themes. Brownstown, we're with you when you fight. Brownstown, bark with the dogs tonight. Brownstown, Cleveland is right behind you. Boom, Tish. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talking to Our Souls on this, the 19th day of June, Ilfay show. It's the longest day on Wednesday, and then the nights start drawing in, so make the most of it, people. It's me, Steve Hen, and over there we have...
It's all the old bastards' fault. Inflation keeps going up. They keep retiring. Mr. Singh.
Fucking hell, that's true. There's too many old bastards. I do agree with that. I was wondering what we're going to talk about, because this week we've had doctor strike, train strikes, fatal motions, COVID inquiries. Trump got indicted with 37 felonies, including 31 counts under the Espionage Act. 31 under the Espionage Act, right? ITV faces parliamentary committees about an old gay TV presenter. England's performances in the Ashis and the Euros, Jesus. We've had tragedies in Greece and Nottingham. Glenda Jackson dies, and all we talk about this week, it seems to me, is the fucking heatwave. It's hot, isn't it?
That's all right.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah, you could have given me more than that, really, Av, really, but it's all right. I suppose, okay.
It's not as bad as, like I said, last year when he was like nearly 40. So, but I think maybe some parts of the UK are feeling it more
than Wolverhampton.
And
it's like it's the ice age in Wolverhampton. That is true. So we had a good show last week, did we not? When we missed it.
Well, it could have been a blessing, couldn't it? But it's never with him, is it? Always rearing his ugly head.
That is very, very true. I'm going to change your background because I don't think we are going to talk about the Sun, really. I am now backing Boris.
Oh God! You don't want to turn your back on him, especially if you're a female.
Do you know? I realised today as well that he had, when he says he's not a liar, and everyone jumped out in the woodwork and said he's not a liar, he's not a liar. I'm going to ask you a question, Av, and if you can answer this truthfully without making a joke, then I think we can prove that he's not a liar. Yeah? It's a question that anyone should be able to answer, really. How many children has Boris Johnson got?
It's got to be double figures, hasn't it?
Well, I think if you ask Alexa, they say 6, right? But I think Wikipedia says 7.
He comes from a big family, doesn't he? His dad's he's got quite a few brothers and sisters, isn't he?
I know he's got 2 brothers and a sister, but I don't know if he's got any more. I mean, he might have.
Yeah.
And Alexa doesn't know that either, so that's all right. But yeah, no, because he brought out super injections, didn't he, to stop people talking about his progeny.
No.
Well, this is the breaking news that we missed last week. That we had a corrupt prime minister. Have you had a good week about
get kicked out? Did someone get kicked out of Parliament for calling him a liar? I'm sure there was.
Yes, and I think he posted something on Twitter after the report saying this liar told me I couldn't call him a liar, but I was right.
It always annoys me when they're in House of Parliament and don't like each other, but they got the house rules, and they says, "Well, my good honourable friend," and it's like, just one, he's not your friend, right?
He might be.
2, honourable.
Mm.
MPs being honourable. There's I think there's few and far between that are honourable.
Well, it does look that way.
Yeah. I think you got to earn that title to be called that honourable. Yeah, I think it should change it. Say my most dubious colleague, perhaps be better, wouldn't it?
But yes, but I do. I don't know because I'm only 27. But like, when Parliament started, though, I think they probably were more honourable and more like they listened to people. Mind you, they were all quite posh then, though, weren't they? They were all mainly lords.
What do you think? You think about the Labour Party, right? The majority of them were working class people. You're going back, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. Yeah? Because they came from the trade unions. They work in the trade unions. I mean, but most of them now, middle class, out of university and have like middle class jobs. I think, how the hell is this guy representing me? Okay, you don't like Boris, don't like the Conservatives, but you sound more like him when you talk.
Posh.
And always Angela Rayner, but she's got to have using expenses.
What Av was saying, or trying to say, was that Angela Rayner has got a ginger growler. That's a ginger growler. Is that right, Av?
No, so Angela Rayner
has got a ginger growler.
I mean, she's working class, but she's got a nasty habit of putting a lot of like two pair of earpods on her expenses.
I actually, well, it depends really, doesn't it? It depends if they're taking the piss. I could understand during the pandemic that earphones were a thing because early on in the pandemic when they had these MPs and it was all going, hello. Can you hear me? 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 So I could probably get that if it was during the pandemic buying some earphones.
No.
I'd get that.
No. She bought two pairs now, right?
Mm-hmm. She's got two ears.
If you're you telling me she just used those for work? Get out of town. Why she got two pairs for?
Seriously though, I've got these in, right? I don't use them all the time. Yes, I use them all the time for work, and they became a tax deductible. I use them all the time for work. Sorry.
There you go.
I don't listen to music going to or from the bus stop at all.
Yeah.
You're
only 80k, and I'm on the Labour Party, and I want to get my food paid for. I want to get my AirPods paid for. I want to get a final salary pension, and I want a cushy number in London and get a nice little house.
I think that's fair. If they are at least, I would think, at least she represents her constituency. I would think.
Maybe she does. Yeah.
Unlike, I think Nadine Dorries actually went to her constituency today, and they were so surprised. They thought, "Who are you?" Right? She's left that on her Twitter bio, even though she's not an MP. She says because she used to be called the Right Honourable Nadine Dorries MP on Twitter, but now she's just the Right Honourable Nadine Dorries. So I do think I'm stalking her.
In that case, I don't understand why they got rid of MP. They should have got rid of the Right Honourable as well.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not sure if she's allowed to keep it post her job, but obviously she thinks she can.
She hasn't put a letter of resignation, has she?
Yeah. No. And I thought that was because if Boris got 90 days, that if the longer she left it, then he could slip again into her slot. But as he left, maybe not. But she knew he was going to resign.
Mm-hmm.
That was her little thing.
He resigned. He's got a job.
Yes, he's got into trouble with that as well. Yesterday, Friday.
Yeah.
But is it a job? Writing shit for the Daily Mail. Is that a job?
Yeah.
But I also heard, go on.
Go on.
You know, I also heard today that they broke it on Sky News that when Boris was Prime Minister, the committee that's now investigating him suggested that jobs in the media shouldn't count, and so they shouldn't need to be looked into. And Boris didn't bother to follow that up, so he's being hoisted by his own inadequacy, which makes me laugh.
But he was supposed to be suspended for 40 days, right?
Like Noah's Ark.
Initially, he was supposed to be suspended for 40 days, and he goes
like Noah's Ark.
And he goes, the longest I've was suspended is 5 minutes. But yeah, when he was explained, not suspended for 40 days, and he kicked off, and then they increased it to 90 because he kicked off.
Well, because he was sent the report, and he was not meant to mention it or say anything, but he did. He actually broke their rules, and that annoyed them as well, because he actually does believe he's beyond all rules. It is quite amusing how they jumped out and all started protecting him.
He's like mini-me of Trump, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
But not so mini. More like a fat me. A fat mini.
Oh, can you imagine them three in a room? That actually was a joke, but it wasn't. But I was going to put Nigel Farage, Boris Johnson, and Donald Trump. You just imagine three of them in a room.
I wouldn't want to. Oh god. Nightmare for some people, that wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, but it would also be a wet dream for a lot of others, and that's quite scary. That is quite scary. So 90 days, and he just left. Went. Vamooshed.
It's just they were interviewing Jacob Rees-Mogg, and he's full of shit, isn't he? As well, the funny thing is, I'll have you know, is that if he dies, if he goes back into being another constituent and they vote for him, then he'll be an MP again. And he's like, you mental. Who's going to vote for him? I can't feel it. Anyone's going to vote for him.
Well, he can't be a Conservative MP without Rishi's blessing, and I don't think Rishi's blessing is coming anytime soon. So he could only stand then as an independent or for another party, and he won't stand for another party. So even if he went as an independent or a new Nigel Farage, he's going to split the vote, whatever. So it's never going to happen for him.
I was listening on the news. There was a guy, I don't know his name. He wrote a book. I think we've talked about it before. He wrote a book about Boris Johnson and how incompetent he was. Right, he's got the inside information from people who worked in Number 10 when Boris was there, and he said nobody wanted to work for him or with him because he was just incompetent. He goes, like Prime Minister prepare for meetings and read notes and stuff like that. He goes, that's why he kept flip-flopping on some of the guidance as well, because he didn't read the guidance. Maybe that's deliberate. If I don't read the guidance, I don't know it. I can do what I like. Yeah. So.
But I think this is his like the strategy now, isn't it? No one can know what's in my head. No one can read my mind because I didn't say it. He never says this. He never says that. That's what he was always a very clever at. Two people could come away from a conversation with Boris Johnson and they'd both think they'd got what they wanted, and he'd have said nothing. It's he's very clever like that.
He's trying to be clever, right? And he's trying to play the system, but he doesn't read the rules.
No.
How can you play a game if you don't know the rules?
It's called life, Av. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. But I was just saying that's his ambiguity, though. He will not say anything. He will not come down heavy on one side or the other, but he will pretend that he's answered your question. But he won't have given you a definitive answer. He'd have just put it in the air. And that's why I think he's clever in that. That's what I meant by clever.
That's all MPs. They all MPs are trained to give answers like that.
Yeah, I think a lot.
They become MPs. They become MPs, and then whatever party they're with, they've got the minions. This is how you answer this. How do you do that? This is how you do that. Don't admit to it. Don't apologise for that. Yeah, and that's what they do.
That did change, didn't it? I reckon in the 80s when we had these clever people saying, "Don't say anything," and then no one can ever question you on it. Just try and, but he's a past master at it. But I have to pull you up, Av. I hope you don't mind. You said Jacob Rees-Mogg, and it's Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg for all the good that he has done for the world. I mean, I don't know how many tries he got for England, how many goals he scored for England, how many runs he got for England. But honestly, how many Sirs do you know that have done what Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg has done?
I don't understand why he wears an oversized suit jacket for.
Perhaps he's like Batman. Perhaps he's Batman. Perhaps it's full of utilities, and he goes around saving the world in disguise. And that's his Clark Kent. He's Jacob Rees-Mogg during the day, but by night he's an evil genius.
Evil, perhaps not so much a genius.
Yeah, no, I realised that. I wanted to say a superhero, but I couldn't bring myself to say that.
Super Zero.
Very good, though. So we got Sir Super Zero. I'm going to call him that from now on. There was that girl as well. The young girl became like the youngest dame. There ain't nothing like a dame. 27, and she's like a life peer now. I'm a life peer in the morning. There's two schools of thoughts. What do you think it is, right? You're a man of the world. Do you think this 27-year-old is either A, Boris's daughter, or B, she's had sex with Boris Johnson?
Oh, God. See, there's an easy joke there, Steve, which I'm not going to do.
We'll do the hard one. I like the hard one.
It's a bad taste, that is. It's probably Mrs. Mate, probably. Just, yeah. I mean, Mrs. was there.
I heard on the radio the other day, the guy said, "Do you know this woman that's got this life peerage? Apparently she worked in the press office, and this was one of the political reporters." He said, "Have you ever met her?" He goes, "No." He said, "I've been talking to my other colleagues. None of them have ever met her." So I don't think she actually did anything in Downing Street apart from...
Good.
See, if you're listening on the radio, you won't know what that was.
You don't want to know.
Turkey's a cheat this year.
Eh?
Oh,
no.
I was trying to be subtle because Turkey's gobble. That was what I was trying to be. I've lost.
No.
I've lost Av's respect and any dignity he thought I ever had.
No, you're wrong.
Go on. I interrupted you. I'm so sorry.
But it's to get their mates, and then it's also people who will have the same thoughts. Perhaps they will when it comes to the House of Lords. So they want more conservatives in there, don't they? But I think that it's got more members than it has the House of Parliament. It should be voted on who's in the House of Lords.
No, I think they should change it. They should change it. But I don't think Sir Keir Starmer's going to get into that.
No, because he wants to put his mates in there.
Has he got any mates, though? I find it very, strange, because he is quite boring.
I'm sure he has. But how many of them are just there to kiss his ass and get what they want?
Yeah. That's the thing. If I knew somebody that was a Prime Minister and I could have his ear, then obviously I would suck up to him, wouldn't you?
I would.
I would. I could imagine. I'd like to be a dame, lady hen.
I tend to fuck off.
Right. Well, we've put that to bed, I hope. I hope we never have to mention that bastard's name again. You never know. Av, say something that's bright and cheerful so that will keep everybody watching throughout the week with their chin up.
Good night.
So, join us again next week when we talk exclusively from our souls. Cleveland is right behind you. Hey, thanks for listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe and share this because it will help us. And don't forget to tune in next week, 8 p.m. Mondays. Ta-ra!